What is Jakarta NoSQL and what's going on as a next step in the Java Enterprise solution? In this video, I give you an overview. Okay, in this sample here, I will use Java SE with Maven. The idea is naturally that you can use and explore more this concept inside microservices, hexagonal model, batch, and so on. Here, I have my minimum requirement dependencies. It is the process of JSON. Oracle NoSQL, that is our drive. The idea is to switch easily between NoSQL database. I'm using here Oracle NoSQL. During this presentation, I will change it to use MongoDB, and then you can see how easy it is to change between NoSQL database. I have here my MicroProfile properties configurations. So I defined my document database. That will be an investment. And then two credentials, one for Oracle NoSQL and another one for MongoDB. I put here in the properties, but if you know about the 12-factor applications, especially the third, idea is to allow to override those by environment. And that is the strategy that I usually do. So I can have locally where people can develop, and on production I can override those configurations if without the development team knows. So I can put naturally password, user, and so on. So here it is straightforward, super easy. It is only local, but on production naturally I should, and I can easily override if without my code know about it. So only by the properties. So right now let's start working inside the Jakarta NoSQL. One tip for you is, if you wish, you can have the Jakarta NoSQL plugin and also the Oracle NoSQL plugin. This way you can see this schema. So Oracle NoSQL had this amazing plugin, so you can see the database, the information that we have. And with Jakarta NoSQL plugin, I can identify better the attributes and where my annotations are going. So I will come here, I will put the presentation view so you can see better. And then I will start creating my investment class. So investment. The idea is pretty similar to Jakarta persistence. So I will create my ID, the name, the investment type, and the big decimal. This investment type will be an enumerator. So I come here. It have here a couple of options: stock, bond, real estate, commodity, and cryptocurrency. And based on that, I have my entity. The next step is defining the mapping. What is the attribute that's going to the database and how, and also identify that this class is an entity that belongs to NoSQL database. So the first step is pretty similar to Jakarta persistency. So as you can see, I defined as an entity, and then I will define the ID as an ID, and then keep defining my attributes that I will use in this demonstration. To facilitate, I will create a constructor. I will create a default one. If you wish, you can use record as well. So I will create my toString. So right now we have the modeling. As next step, I will create my app. Remember, in this sample, I will use Java SE, but you can use microservice, everything using Jakarta NoSQL. So I will create my SEContainer. Container equals SEContainer initializer. So that is it. And then I will inject my template. So the idea of template is basically to define the information. Let's say it is a bridge between my database and my Java class. So I'll inject, I'll insert, and then what I can do as next step is find by ID, for example. So I come here, I will define an ID, and I will do a find by ID and then do a system out. Okay, let's understand why. So I will do a find, and that is it. So as you can see, I'm using Oracle NoSQL. In this case, I need to identify because Oracle NoSQL provides both document and key value. In this case, I need to say that I will use document. So I come here, I will run my application, and as you can see, my investment is here. And if I exit the presentation mode, come here, do a refresh, I can see my investment table, and if I run, as you can see, I have my information here as well. What happens if I want to switch to using MongoDB? The idea is super straightforward. So I come here to my MongoDB. In my case, I will do a refresh on my ID as well. I need to update my credentials. In this case, I put both, but naturally you don't need to have Oracle NoSQL credential when you are using MongoDB or vice versa. And then I will run again, and this time it's going to the MongoDB. So let's run again, stop and run. So it's running, the query will return. I will connect to my database. So as you can see, I have my investment and I have my database. If you go over the API, naturally you have the options to do the find by ID, update, delete, insert, and so on. We also have the Fluent API. So I can do my templates, select, investment class, and then do my where, my condition, so I can put the ID and do the step by step. I have the same idea using the delete and of course the update. So the idea is to explore over and over the capability of the Fluent API. So let's use here, for example, what might come to the next version of Jakarta NoSQL. So I will do the update, investment, and then I will do the set. So let's put amount to 2000 where ID, and then I will execute, and naturally I will do a find again. So let's see this one executing. So right now it has 2000. Let's see at the database how it's going. So we have 2000. So naturally, once I'm creating a new entry, it will be with a lot of information. What I can do is just come here and delete the investment class. Not you, but just execute. So I will delete everything after running my application. However, the terrible news is you're not able to see the information anymore. So I will execute. And naturally, when I go to my investment, it is empty. One thing that we are working right now to Jakarta EE 12 is Jakarta query. So if you are not familiar with the idea of Jakarta query, is having a single query that will communicate to several database sources. So it will have two, let's say, levels, the commons, that will handle both NoSQL and Jakarta data. And we have one specialization that is the Jakarta persistence query language. So basically, what we had in Jakarta persistency moved to a new specification where more specification around persistence can take advantage of it. So I will come here. I will create my first query. So let's do a query here. So I will do a from investment where amount is over 1,000. I can get the result and then do a for it. Naturally, you don't have the delete here. So I will have my information here of the investment. So let's see, execute again. And naturally, you can go and check. So here, the first one, 1,000, and then I have the updated. And finally, I have this one here, execute by query. What you can do also is explore projectors. So imagine that you only want the name and also the amount. So I can create my projector, investment projector that has the name and also my big decimal amount. Amount. I define as projection from NoSQL, and then what I can do here is a pretty similar idea, but this time define the investment projector. So, and I need to update here to use type of query. And that is it. So I will execute again. This time it will return as investment projector. As you can see, and then I defined only Apple and the amount. And that is it for today. Hopefully you got the idea of Jakarta NoSQL with Java in the Java Enterprise. The idea is to facilitate the communication between Java and NoSQL database. I can switch easily between NoSQL's database based on the credentials and the driver dependency, as you could see. Furthermore, naturally, you have integration with Jakarta data. That don't worry, I will have a video only to explore this Jakarta data capability. That is it for today. Hopefully you enjoy, and if you want to enhance your career and move to the next level, subscribe in this channel.